Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Friday session of the California Coastal Commission. May we begin with a roll call, please?
Give me 1 second. All right.
Present.
Commissioner O'Malley.
Present.
O'Malley. Commissioner Eckerly.
Here.
Eckerly. No Escalante today. Commissioner Hart.
Present.
Commissioner Jackson.
Present.
Commissioner Kelly.
Here.
Commissioner Kunkel.
Here.
Commissioner Kalmick. Oh, Commissioner Lee is here. Commissioner Kalmick.
Here.
Commissioner Moreno. Commissioner Wilson.
Present.
Chair Harmon.
Here.
Oh, Commissioner Notoff.
Here.
Sorry.
Okay, we are all here. May we have the virtual meeting procedures, please?
Good morning. This Coastal Commission meeting is occurring both in person and through Zoom. This meeting is also being webcast and can be viewed online at cal-span.org. If you have internet access and wish to watch or listen to the meeting only and not speak on an item, we recommend you use the CalSpan website. Those who wish to address the Commission today can do so in person through the Zoom platform or by phone. The speaker request forms may be found on the Commission's webpage. Paper forms and a scannable QR code for paper submittals are available on the Commission staff table just outside the meeting room. Excuse me. For those on Zoom, we have posted virtual hearing procedures on the Commission's agenda webpage, which is a guide on providing comments via Zoom or by phone. Members of the public speaking during general public comments may be given up to 2 minutes to speak at the discretion of the chair. Requests to speak during general public comments, period, will not be accepted after 9 a.m. on each day of the meeting. In order to provide the opportunity for the broadest range of public participation, you may speak on a specific topic one time only each month. Those speaking on an agenda item that is not general public comments are typically allowed 2 to 3 minutes to speak at the discretion of the chair. We will accept a request to speak on a regular agenda item up until the chair opens the hearing on that particular item. If you have internet access, please go to the Commission's webpage and click on the link to fill out a speaker request. If you do not have internet access or prefer to testify by phone, please call the Commission staff at 562-477-9089. Again, that number is 562-477-9089. Staff will provide you with a telephone call-in number and instructions for how to participate and provide testimony by phone. We will manage speakers coming in and out of the meeting through a meeting organizer. When it's your time to address the Commission, the organizer will invite you to turn on your video and microphone or provide instructions on how to unmute the phone. Madam Chair, that concludes the virtual hearing procedures.
Great, thank you very much. And now I'll turn it over to our Chief Counsel for a report out from closed session.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yesterday, the Commission met in closed session. It received litigation information and advice and took action on the following cases: Friends of Oceano Dunes, Inc. et al. Versus California Coastal Commission et al., Bel Air Bay Club versus California Coastal Commission, and City of Fort Bragg versus Mendocino Railway. It also received litigation information and advice and on Space Exploration Technologies Corporation versus California Coastal Commission. And that concludes my report.
Great, thank you very much. And now, Mr. Hudson, to you for agenda changes, please.
All right, and good morning, Chair Harmon, Vice Chair Hart, and Commissioners. I will now go over those changes to the agenda. First, item 8A is moved to consent. That's the City of San Buenaventura de minimis LCP amendment for accessory dwelling units. Item 8B is moved to consent. That's the County of Santa Barbara LCP amendment time extension dealing with mobile home overlay. Item 8.1A will be moved to consent, the Lipsman CDP application. And item 10A is planned to be moved to consent. That's the City of Long Beach LCP amendment dealing with inclusionary housing. That concludes the changes to today's agenda. That brings us back to item 4, general public comment. And with that, I'll turn the mic back over to you, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you. Okay, to Simone for public comment, please. Thank you.
Great. For members of the public, I will be announcing the names of the upcoming speakers and invite you to speak when it's your turn. Each speaker will be allowed 2 minutes during the general public comments at the discretion of the chair. In order to allow for live video testimony on Zoom, we'll be bringing you in as a panelist. As we bring you in, your Zoom will reload. This may take a moment to speed up the process. We will bring several people in at a time. That means do not decline. Thank you. But please remain muted and keep your video off until we ask you to speak. After your time is up, you will be moved back to attendee mode. For members of the public present in the room, I will call your names in the order that they appear on our sign-up list. When you hear your name, please line up behind the podium and introduce yourself when you approach to speak. There is a raise hand function that will help us find you in the attendee list. If you are using a phone for audio, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. If you are participating by Zoom, you should see a button on your Zoom screen. If you have signed up to speak for this item and are able to do so, please raise your hand now. When it is your time to speak, we will invite you to unmute and turn on your camera. You can unmute yourself on a phone by dialing *6. First up, we have Izzy Seistic in person and Brigitte Bauer in person, and then we'll go to Zoom after that. Okay, they're not here?
No, Brigitte is right there.
Oh, wait. I don't see Izzy Seistic, so let's go ahead to Brigitte Bauer. Yes, please. Push the button on the podium. On the base of the mic. There you go.
Okay. My name is Brigitte Bauer, and I live right over here. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for the work you do, and happy 50th anniversary. I hope you have had occasion to check out Surfers Beach less than a mile down the road. The Coastal Commission is requiring Caltrans to find 75 parking spaces for Surfers Beach if they are going to be allowed to put in bike lanes instead of the informal car parking along Highway 1. Make sure that you approve parking for Surfers Beach that can realistically work as parking for surfers and people going to the beach, bringing kids and stuff for a day on the beach. So parking within walking distance from the beach with a restroom. Caltrans defines walkable as a quarter mile. The Harbor District is trying to sell the idea to you and Caltrans of a new parking lot half a mile from the beach. This would earn the Harbor District $150,000 from Caltrans. Meanwhile, there is a 4-acre piece of land next to the beach, west side of Highway 1, with a new $4 million restroom. Most of that land is occupied by the Pillar Point RV Park. When the restroom was installed, the general public parking spaces decreased from 21 to 6. These 6 remaining spots are mostly unavailable to the public. They are used as overflow parking for the RV vehicles. The RV park, the Harbor District, as well as Half Moon Bay, will not put up day use only signs required by the KITP and the Coastal Act. Half Moon Bay gets $100,000 plus a year in taxes. The Harbor District gets $16,000 a month in rent. And the owner of the Pillar Point RV Park is Keith Nearhan, who also happens to be the owner of this hotel and the new RV park next to it, and a lot of properties on the coastside. This property should go back to public parking instead of being an RV park. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we are going to our Zoom. We have Nathan Brenner, followed by Robin Davidoff, Kent Allen, Janet Rogers. Nathan Brenner just declined, so we'll go ahead and go to Robin Davidoff. Robin, if you can unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I had a presentation that I submitted.
Yes. Give us a moment, please.
Okay. I'm Robin Davidoff, Sierra Club Seal Society Chair. Next slide, please. La Jolla Cove, could you get to the next slide, please? La Jolla sea lion pupping season starts May 1st, just 87 days away. In December, the San Diego Park and Recreation Department told this commission that they would have rangers at the La Jolla Cove 7 days a week, onboard 10 volunteers, and install new signage. Over the past 2 months, we've seen rangers have increased their presence, but announcements are made infrequently, as few as 1 to 2 per hour, and only one volunteer has been seen off and on, and no new signage has been installed. Next slide, please. Rangers' duties are defined by the City of San Diego to assist the public in the use of regional parks, to conduct interpretive programs, and patrol city parks. To protect the public, rangers must be staffed on the beach as authority figures to manage the area, provide crowd control, and education. Rangers must also make announcements frequently about the safe viewing distances. We recommend 25 feet for this pocket beach, and encourage people to move to the viewing areas above. Next slide, please. Pups are vulnerable in the first few months of life. They cannot swim at birth and cannot swim well for 2 to 3 months. They're left unattended by their moms on busy beaches for long periods of time when they go out to feed, and people approach these very cute pups and try to pet or pick them up. Next slide, please. In 87 days, who will protect the pups? Kids as seen as in this photo, or rangers? We support keeping the beach open year-round. However, we request the CCC staff to instruct the city to implement a plan before May 1st. And that requires rangers on the beach making frequent announcements, a protocol for placing cones and tape around newborn pups, A-frame signs on the beach, and temporarily close the western gates when sea lions are on the stairs, keeping the eastern gate open all the time. We have 87 days to get this done.
Thank you. Next, we're going to try Nathan. If you can unmute yourself. Nathan Brenner. I see you unmuted. We see you. Go ahead and start, Mr. Brenner.
This video documents ongoing marine mammal
Thank you. Yesterday, we showed you a video of the ongoing harassment of sea lions and the lack of management at the La Jolla Cove in San Diego. The video was supposed to be followed by the presentation of Robin Davidoff, which she just gave today. Instead of repeating the video, I want to recap some of the accomplishments that this commission and the city have made, thanks to Commissioner O'Malley for taking on the role of liaison. For the past year, we've been presenting to this commission about the need for ranger management at the La Jolla Cove, and the progress has been made. The city modified a long-term management plan so rangers assigned to Point La Jolla could patrol the La Jolla Cove. Rangers are making announcements to the public to stay back from the sea lions, yet more frequency is needed. In order to solve the problems that we're going to have at La Jolla Cove when pupping season arrives, we have got to have rangers on the beach, coordinating with the lifeguards and managing the crowds. We're on the countdown to pupping season, and this needs to be taken care of before May 1st. The city is close to implementing a viable plan that would protect the public and newborn pups. It needs more work to protect the public and the pups, and it's expected in just 87 days when May 1st arrives. After meeting with city officials, we get the impression that the city's resistance to fully implement a viable plan may be political, with no one wanting to take responsibility. We've even heard that the city is waiting for the commission's staff to tell them what to do. In Robin's presentation, she offered simple, easy to implement management solutions for the city to put in place before pupping season begins on May 1st. Please consider her request for the CCC staff to instruct the city to put these no-cost management solutions in place by May 1st. We are counting on this coastal commission to prevent unnecessary sea lion pup death, and we're shooting for a zero pup death pupping season for 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Janet Rogers, followed by John Simpson, Lydia Ponce, Terry Saucier, sorry if I said that wrong, and Pam Bond. Janet Rogers, you can unmute yourself. I see your video is on, but you need to unmute. Okay, Janet, I'm gonna let you work on that. We're gonna go to John Simpson. If you can unmute yourself, John.
Yes, hi. Thank you. Good morning, commissioners. My name is John Simpson. I'm a longtime fan of the Coastal Commission's work and a long-standing resident of the Carpinteria Valley. I just recently learned of the proposed development at the mouth of the Carpinteria Salt Marsh at 501 Sandpoint Road in Carpinteria, and I must say I'm truly shocked that you all approved any level of project on that small, very special, extremely ecologically sensitive location. And I'm to the core opposed to this project. Slide 2. Having spent an extensive amount of time on the California coast, beach going, surfing, sailing, etc., the Coastal Commission is historically symbolized to me a state agency that stands up to inappropriate development and has been steadfast on protecting our vital coastal environments. You're well accustomed to lawsuits from developers. They try to strong arm through their projects. And since the Coastal Commission is no stranger to legal challenges, as exemplified by the endless list of cases on this month's closed session agenda, et cetera, to quickly buckle on the threat of a takings claim in the case of 501 Sandpoint and approve a project in one of the most treasured and ecologically sensitive locations across the state is extremely concerning. And I was stunned when I read how little the environmental review was and how limited the opportunity was for public comment and scientific review. Please be true to the Coastal Commission's mission and the Coastal Act and stand up for preserving our coastline by stopping this project. Please roll it back to allow for a legitimate SEQR review through a complete environmental impact report. To conclude that this proposed project will only have a minor impact that warranted only a mitigated negative declaration makes no sense to me at all. So thank you for reconsidering this ill-advised project and carefully considering my remarks.
Thank you. We're going to go back to Janet Rogers.
Hello, I'm Janet Rogers, co-chair of the Embarcadero Coalition. Can we trust the port trustees? Next slide. The Port Act requires the port to develop the bay for the benefit of the people. The purpose is to protect, preserve, and enhance physical access to the bay. Next slide. I started identifying concrete examples of missing public access in July of 2024. The port didn't reply, so I went to the Coastal Commission staff. Next slide. The most egregious abuse is the rooftop reading club in the Intercontinental. This space is permitted to be a bar and public terrace. Next slide. The reading club violates the lease, the coastal permit, and the public trust doctrine. It's a private club with hand-selected membership. Are you the right type of person? Do you have $2,400 yearly? September of 2025, coastal staff told the hotel and port that it does not conform to the coastal permit for a public rooftop terrace. The hotel must become compliant. Nothing has changed. The application form is still active. Are they renewing memberships and taking new ones? Is that fraudulent? Next slide. The Reading Club took a precious, free, elevated view of the bay from the public. The port and hotel make a lot of money. See part of the lost public view. Next slide. Is the port incompetent or complicit in taking away public access? 3 grand jury reports didn't fix the problems. Heavy lobbying stopped an ethics code. Did they not want to be ethical? I've shown multiple public access abuses on the Embarcadero since 2024. What about the rest of the port? Many are still unresolved. Where are the serious repercussions? Why is everything about making money instead of the basic mission for the benefit of the public? You're the watchdog. Where is your bite? Next slide. If the trustee can't be trusted to fulfill its basic mission, what are you going to do about it? Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Terry Saucier, followed by Pam Bond, Mike Fleming, and Margaret Malloy. We're looking for Kent Allen and Lydia Ponce. If they show up, we'll move them over. Terry Saucier?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. I'm with the SoCal Stop Artificial Turf Task Force, a coalition of more than 50 organizations that's working to get new installations of artificial turf banned in LA and surrounding communities. I'd like to begin by thanking you for your work to keep our oceans and watersheds safe for human health, the environment, and wildlife. Thank you, too, for your report on plastic pollution and recognizing that artificial turf is a significant source of plastic pollution in our watersheds and oceans. Your 2023 decision to deny UC Santa Barbara a permit to put in a plastic baseball field in the California Coastal Commission zone was vitally important. Today, your diligence and oversight is more important than ever. The artificial turf industry is lobbying hard and pitching school districts and rec and parks to install multiple plastic playing fields, including places like the Santa Monica Malibu Unified School District and LA Rec and Parks Pacific Palisades. A number of these fields are in the California Coastal Commission permit zone and directly adjacent. We also just learned ESPN wants to install a plastic field on the beach in Santa Monica, and the city of Malibu is planning on several plastic fields on its beaches. I understand resources may be limited. However, if the Commission does not prioritize stopping and calling out these projects, the lobbyists, school districts, and rec and parks will take it as a sign they can go full steam ahead. You'll be setting a pro-artificial turf precedence that will be impossible to reverse. Please set the record straight. Let the Santa Monica Malibu School District and LA Rec and Parks know they cannot install artificial turf in the Coastal Commission permit zone, and why. Please also develop a strong artificial turf policy that clearly states artificial turf is never allowed in the Coastal Commission permit zone, and put a robust enforcement program in place. We depend on you to protect our waterways and oceans for our children and future generations. Thank you.
Thank you. Pam Bond, Mike Fleming, then Margaret Malloy.
My name is Pam Bond. I have a presentation. If you can just advance them every 30 seconds, they're just background illustration. I am asking that you please stop approving projects with artificial turf and synthetic surfacing in the coastal zone. A 2023 study of ocean and river waters found that 15% of meso and microplastic came from artificial turf fibers. If you read artificial turf warranties over 8 to 10 years, the field is expected to lose up to 50% or more of its blades. It's been said that manufacturers are improving their product to reduce blade loss, but I'm sharing photos of a new product advertised as having no microplastics. What were these detached blades exposed to the elements but microplastics in waiting? One task in ideally yearly artificial turf maintenance is measuring blade height. I'll include graphs in a follow-up email. This, along with the warranty expecting blade loss, illustrates that these fields shed plastic readily. Promises of maintenance to collect this breakage falls short. Some blades and infill are swept up, but what isn't collected attaches to clothing, shoes, and equipment, and some is transported by wind and rain. What will happen during wind, rain, and flooding events at sites along the coast? There's no accounting for where the used plastic turf carpets and plastic infills will go at the end of their life either. Near a river, stream, or ocean? There's a site in Pescadero not far from the ocean that stockpiles this plastic waste out in the open while waiting for potential resale. Artificial turf fields have no enforceable regulations for maintenance or management of environmental impacts. Measures might be put in place to attempt to mitigate the pollution, but who will enforce this? I hope that you can hold on to the astute concerns that your commissioners voiced in 2023 and protect our coastal waters from this and other forms of plastic pollution. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Fleming, Margaret Malloy, and we're still looking for Kent Allen and Lydia Ponce. If so, please raise your hand function on the Zoom, please. Mike Fleming.
Yeah, hi, this is Mike Fleming. I am currently a U.S. licensed captain with the Coast Guard. Yesterday, you heard from a number of speakers from Newport Beach. I hold a mooring permit and a heavily regulated liveaboard permit there. And I'd like to continue to live and work in the harbor, taking us out on the water. After yesterday's public speakers, District Director Schwing noted that state lands and coastal are working with the city. Please recall that a year ago yesterday, myself and a number of others spoke before this commission in Long Beach regarding another city plan, which the commissioners described as a horrible plan. And they inquired of the city, why were not, this is your terms, why were not the experts here in the room being consulted? On the agenda for next Tuesday's Newport Beach City Council meeting is an item to form an ad hoc committee of 2 council members to address the current Tidelands issues in Newport. We know an ad hoc committee does not have to comply with the Brown Act, aka open meeting laws. We don't believe that continued exclusion of stakeholders at this stage in the process is conducive to equitable solutions. In an effort to save time and money for all involved, we urge the commissioners in working with the city to encourage the city to engage as you call this, the experts in the room to avoid a repeat performance of February 5th, 2025. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Next is Margaret Molloy. She'll be the last one if we don't see Kent Allen or Lydia Ponce.
Hi, Commissioners. I'm talking about the Venice land use plan. So, as you may know, Tracy Park is our councilwoman. On October 28th, she introduced a city council motion. It's Council File 25-1282, titled Certified Venice Land Use Plan, Venice Coastal Zone Commercial Use Ordinance Amendment. But she hasn't brought that to the Venice community. And it's just unconscionable that that would be the case. The community plan is a community effort. It's not directed by politicians. And in this case, that appears to be what Ms. Park is endeavoring to do. Her motion includes the statement, "It is of critical importance that the council direct the Department of City Planning to prepare an amendment to the certified land use plan to clarify policy I.C.1I, which currently states that commercial use of industrially designated land shall be restricted. Insomuch as California Coastal Commission staff have interpreted this language as a prohibition on commercial uses on industrially designated land, which is inconsistent with the city's longstanding practice of allowing certain commercial uses on industrially designated land as allowed in the zoning code and more specifically within the Venice Coastal Zone." Ms. Park has it backwards. She's a lawyer herself. She's got staff who are land use consultants. State law preempts local zoning and ordinances. And she's not even bringing this to the Venice community. There was one single line in her monthly newsletter. That's it. It hasn't been to the Venice Neighborhood Council. It hasn't been presented as a public discussion. That's a taking of property value. The most extensive area of commercial, of industrial land is in Oakwood.
Thank you.
A neighborhood under attack.
Thank you. So next we'll go with Kent Allen, Lydia Ponce. It doesn't look like we see them. If you guys can raise your hand. Okay.
Great. Thank you very much, and thank you to the public. I'll return to the commission and to Commissioner O'Malley. I think you wanted to make a brief comment.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I just want to thank the folks from La Jolla who keep showing up month after month for their advocacy and the push for further measures at the Cove. And I'd say especially as we lead up to pupping season. I've personally seen some improvement, but I agree additional measures need to be taken. On Wednesday, and I'm going to follow up Wednesday, I received a message from staff at the Mayor Todd Gloria's office, but I was here meeting, so I wasn't able to take it, and I owe them a response. So I'll connect Monday and just assure the public that I'm going to continue to work as a liaison here to see how we can implement those additional measures. So thank you.
And thank you, Commissioner O'Malley. We really appreciate it. Okay, with that, let's move on to the consent calendar, please. Mr. Hudson.
Thank you. And the next item on the agenda is the consent calendar for all districts on the agenda today. There are 2 items on consent, and staff is not aware of any opposition to these items. Both applicants are in agreement with the staff recommendations, and thus staff is recommending the commission vote and approve the consent calendar.
Thank you. Are there any ex partes? Seeing none. Any public comments?
There are no commenters.
Great. Okay. Well, I will return to the commission for a motion. Comments, questions?
Move consent calendar.
Second.
It's a motion by Commissioner Notoff, a second by Commissioner Wilson. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Commissioner O'Malley.
Yes.
O'Malley, yes. Commissioner Hart?
Yes.
Hart, yes. Commissioner Jackson?
Aye.
Jackson, yes. Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Kelly, yes. Commissioner Lee?
Yes.
Lee, yes. Commissioner Kalmick?
Yes.
Kalmick, yes. Commissioner Nodoff?
Aye.
Nodoff, yes. Commissioner Moreno?
Moreno, yes.
Moreno, yes. Commissioner Wilson?
Yes.
Wilson, yes. Chair Harmon?
Yes.
Harmon, yes. The vote is unanimous.
Thank you. The consent calendar is adopted. Mr. Hudson, back to you.
Thank you. That brings us to item 6. Item 6 is for applications to be moved from regular to the consent calendar today, and that's for all the districts on the agenda. As mentioned during the agenda changes this morning, there are 4 items that we're recommending be moved to the consent calendar, and those are item 8A, the City of Ventura de minimis LCP amendment dealing with an update for accessory dwelling units. Item 8B, the County of Santa Barbara LCP amendment time extension dealing with a mobile home overlay. Item 8.1A, the Lipsman CDP application. And item 10A, the City of Long Beach LCP amendment dealing with inclusionary housing. Now, there is an addendum for item 10A, the Long Beach LCP amendment for inclusionary housing, and it responds to an email received from a member of the Sierra Club requesting this item be continued to allow for additional changes. As explained fully in that addendum, staff does not believe there is a basis under the standard of review, which is the city's certified land use plan, to make the additional changes that were requested, and thus we continue to recommend this item be moved to consent calendar today. In closing, staff is not aware of any opposition to any of the other items being moved to consent, and we're recommending that the commission vote and approve this item. Staff is available for questions.
Great. Thank you. Are there any ex partes? Seeing none, any public comments?
Just available for questions.
Great. Thank you. So I'll return to the commission. Comments, questions, or a motion, please.
I'll move the consent items all the items moved to consent.
Second.
It's a motion by Commissioner Wilson, a second by Commissioner O'Malley. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Hart?
Yes.
Hart, yes. Commissioner Jackson?
Aye.
Jackson, yes. Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Kelly, yes. Commissioner Lee?
Yes.
Lee, yes. Commissioner Kalmick?
Yes.
Kalmick, yes. Commissioner Nodoff?
Aye.
Nodoff, yes. Commissioner Moreno?
Moreno, yes.
Moreno, yes. Commissioner Wilson?
Yes.
Wilson, yes. Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
O'Malley, yes. Chair Harmon?
Yes.
Harmon, yes. The vote is unanimous.
Great. Thank you. Those items are approved. Now, rolling right along to item 7, please.
Thank you. And item 7 is the Deputy Director's report for the South Central Coast District, which this month includes 1 immaterial permit amendment, 2 permit extensions, 1 certification review, and 1 emergency permit. In regard to that emergency permit, I would note that it was issued to the University of California at Santa Barbara for the temporary placement of 300 sandbags for erosion protection of Lagoon Berm Road at Campus Point on the UCSB campus. And that was for a temporary period of 90 days, after which time the sandbags must be removed. We also have 1 certification review being reported today, and that is for an LCP amendment by Ventura County to update its housing ordinance to add density bonuses and special needs housing provisions consistent with new state laws. The county's amendment was approved by this commission at its October meeting, and the executive director has determined that the local government's subsequent action, accepting all of the commission's suggested modifications pursuant to a resolution, is legally adequate, and that this amendment will become certified upon being reported to the commission today. This matter is being reported pursuant to our regulations and thus does not require any additional action or concurrence. Staff is not aware of any opposition to any of the items being reported today, and we are asking whether 3 or more commissioners object to any of the items for which action is needed today. Staff is available for questions.
Great. Thank you. Are there any ex partes? Any public comments?
None.
Great. Do 3 or more commissioners object to any of the items in the report requiring concurrence? Seeing no objections, the commission concurs. Okay, that brings us to 8.1B, I believe.
Thank you. It does bring us to 8.1B, which will be presented via Zoom by Sam Fearer, a coastal program analyst in our South Central Coast District. We have a PowerPoint for this item, please, and if we could pull that up. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. The next item is 8.1B, a CDP application by the University of California, Santa Barbara for the construction of the university's Kavli Institute for Theoretical Physics, or KITP, house project, a new 3-story, 33-unit residential building and 33-space parking lot to provide housing for the KITP program postdoctoral scholars, visiting graduate fellows, and long-term visitors and their families. Next slide, please. The subject site is located within a 1.24-acre undeveloped parcel, which is owned by the university and located within the unincorporated community of Isla Vista in Santa Barbara County. Although Santa Barbara County has a certified LCP, Coastal Act Section 30519B provides the Commission review coastal development permit applications for projects by any state university or college located in the coastal zone. Therefore, the Commission, rather than the county, is the review authority for this application, and the standard of review for this project is the Chapter 3 policies of the Coastal Act. Next slide, please. The subject site is located at the northern boundary of Isla Vista, at the corner of El Colegio Road and Camino Pescadero. The lot is surrounded by existing residential development and previously served as an unofficial parking area utilized by the adjacent Friendship Manor retirement community. The site is located approximately 1/4 mile west of the university's main campus and 1.1 miles west of Cone Hall, which hosts KITP programming at the university. The proposed development would provide university-adjacent housing for longer-term KITP participants and would accommodate increased parking demand through the construction of a new 33-space parking lot on-site for residents, including 4 EV spaces, and through the provision of visitor and staff parking in the university's parking lot 53 located directly across the street to the north. And that's highlighted here in a white box to the north of the yellow box. Residents and visitors alike would also have access to 60 new bicycle parking spaces on site and to an existing rideshare car located at Lot 53. The project would also include the protection in place of a single coast live oak tree, the removal and replanting of 2 mature cork oaks, and the installation of drought-tolerant and majority native landscaping following project construction. Next slide, please. The university has proposed mitigation measures to address parking and transportation demands that would result from the proposed development, and staff is recommending Special Condition 1 to memorialize these requirements for the life of the development. Special Condition 1 requires that proposed parking and transportation resources are maintained by the university or by any future successor or assigns to the permit throughout the life of the proposed development, specifically including 33 vehicle parking spaces on site for residents, 60 bicycle parking spaces on site for residents, guests, and employees, and memorialization of the agreement that off-site vehicle parking for guests and employees of the development will be made available at parking lot 53 immediately north of the subject site. This condition also requires that an existing rideshare vehicle located at lot 53 shall be maintained with discounted access throughout the life of the proposed development, and that all residents and employees of the subject development shall be informed of nearby public transit options, on-site bicycle parking, and off-site car share locations to encourage the use of alternative means of transportation. In closing, as conditioned, staff believes that the proposed project is consistent with the Chapter 3 policies of the Coastal Act. The motion to approve the coastal development permit can be found on page 4 of the staff report. And before concluding staff's presentation, we would note that staff is available for questions And I will now turn the mic over to Steve Hudson for additional comments.
All right, thank you, Sam. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank the university staff for working with our staff to address some of the issues with this project, and note that this project is occurring on one of the 4 properties that were subject to a recent LCP amendment that was approved by the commission that was rezoned in order to accommodate multifamily housing, including this project. And that was an LCP amendment by Santa Barbara County, and it was necessary in order to meet the state's housing requirements. I'd also like to note that this project, we were able to bring this quickly to hearing, and is an example of how your staff continues to work to address the housing crisis that is a statewide issue and expedite exactly these sorts of projects. And I would note that we were able to accomplish that in a way working with the university that is also protective of coastal resources. So again, I'd just like to thank the university for their assistance. And with that, I'll close our staff presentation and just note that we are available for any questions.
Great, thank you very much. Are there any ex partes? Any public comments?
Yes, we have one speaker, Josh Romer. And Josh, you should be able to be moved in as panelist right now. Josh, it seems that you're not able to move over. Okay, now Josh is in. You should be able to unmute.
Good morning, all. Thank you. I've been promoted to a panelist. Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Josh Romer. I'm the Director of Capital and Physical Planning at the University of California, Santa Barbara. I'd just like to briefly thank you for your consideration of the KITP House project, which will provide housing for staff, researchers, and long-term visitors to the Kavli Institute for Theoretical Physics, or KITP. The project has been designed to meet the needs of future residents, support KITP's world-class research, and complement the surrounding community of Isla Vista. We believe it is a quality addition to the housing inventory in IV and the broader UCSB community. We appreciate staff's careful work to assess the project and its alignment with the Coastal Act, and we ask for your support and your approval. Thank you.
Thank you. No more speakers.
Great, thank you very much. Well, hello to Mr. Romer. It's very nice to see you, and I'll take Chair's prerogative to start by just saying how excited I am that this project is moving forward, and to reiterate Mr. Hudson's comments about what a successful partnership this has been. And I'm so proud of the UCSB team, the entire Santa Barbara community. This is exemplary of what we can do when we really put our heads together and think about getting through the process efficiently. I mean, this was just, I guess, back in November or December that we did that rezone, and here we are now. So this is a huge success, and it's going to be hugely impactful in our Santa Barbara community. So, Mr. Romer, my specific thanks to you, and please convey my thanks to the entire team. I will be very proudly voting yes today. So with that, I'll turn it over to my colleagues for comments, questions, or a motion.
I would give you the prerogative of making the motion if you want. Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Oh,
Take a
well,
shot.
I've been operating under the assumption that I can't, which was maybe self-preservation a little bit. But with that, I will move that the Commission approve Coastal Development Permit number 4-25-0717 pursuant to the staff recommendation, and I'm asking for a yes vote, please.
I'll second.
Thank you. So that is a motion by me, a second by Commissioner Notoff. We're asking for a yes vote. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Jackson.
Aye.
Jackson, yes. Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Kelly, yes. Commissioner Lee.
Yes.
Lee, yes. Commissioner Kalmick.
Yes.
Kalmick, yes. Commissioner Notoff.
Aye.
Notoff, yes. Commissioner Moreno.
Moreno, yes.
Moreno, yes. Commissioner Wilson.
Yes.
Wilson, yes. Commissioner O'Malley.
Yes.
O'Malley, yes. Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Hart, yes. Chair Harmon.
Yes.
Harmon, yes. The vote is unanimous.
Great. The permit is approved. Congratulations. Okay, now we'll move on to item 9, please.
Thank you. And that item 9 is the Deputy Director's Report for the South Coast District, which includes 7 permit waivers, 2 immaterial permit amendments, 1 immaterial permit extension, and 1 emergency permit. I would note that staff has 1 change to the Deputy Director's Report. One of the waivers, CDP application 5-25-0341-W by Myrtle Avenue LLC for the demolition of 3 detached garages and sheds and construction of a new residence in Hermosa Beach, is at the city's request postponed and removed from the items being reported as part of the Deputy Director's Report today. In addition, in regard to the emergency permit being reported, it was issued to Joseph Marino for an approximately 100-foot long soldier pile wall system with tiebacks, and that was to remediate a bluff slope failure on a property with an existing residence, a bluff slope property in the city of Rancho Palos Verdes. And moreover, staff received objections from members of the public in regard to one of the immaterial permit extensions being reported today. That was the CDP extension for application A-5-VEN-21-0011-E2 for the Venice Place Hotel project by Winku Properties LLC. Now, we have some speakers signed up for that item today, but I would note that because the objections were received within the 10-day period for public comment after the Deputy's Director's Report was published, this item will be brought back at a future hearing, likely our next meeting in March, for action by the Commission, with additional information by staff to address the issues raised in the objections. So those speakers who signed up to speak today will have an opportunity or another opportunity at our next hearing to address this item. And finally, staff is not aware of any opposition to the other items being reported today, and thus we are asking whether 3 or more commissioners object to any of the items in the Deputy Director's Report. Staff is available for questions.
Great, thank you very much. Any ex partes? Okay, we'll go to public comment, please.
All right, and we have the 4 speakers: Robin Rudisil, Margaret Malloy, Amanda Seward, and Ellie Millsbean. Robin Rudisil, when you're able to, please go ahead.
Hi, good morning. Thank you. Robin Rudisil, Citizens Preserving Venice. Regarding this Abbott Kinney Hotel extension, we'll just give you a preview today and we'll be back next month. We had many important points several of us were going to make this morning, but having just heard the hearing for action will likely be next month. You'll see us then too. Our major concerns are the changed circumstances regarding the COVID adjustment in the feasibility analysis, and the changed circumstances with other major projects in the surrounding area, as well as implementation of the alfresco dining program, which is now permanent, and it's removing on-street, sidewalk, and on-site parking. The first CDP for the permanent alfresco dining program was approved just recently on January 12th. So the program is well underway, and the projected reductions in available parking are very significant. Also, in mid-2025, the city planning staff determined that Windward Circle, the bus stop area, is a transit hub, and a significant change in circumstances for this project because it means the area around the project is now covered by AB 2097, which will also significantly reduce available parking. So these very significant changes subsequent to the project approval are increasing traffic, reducing parking availability, and all at the same time, the North Abbott Kinney Boulevard area development intensity is significantly increasing. This affects coastal access, especially for surrounding residents who already have traffic pressure and working class visitors. These are real cumulative foreseeable impacts that now exist because circumstances have changed. The Abbott Kinney Hotel project is the biggest and most impactful Venice has ever seen. Please look very carefully at our concerns and at our evidence, and we hope you will require a full public hearing before extending a permit that rests on outdated assumptions and conclusory findings. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Margaret Malloy.
Hello, I have written to you and I hope that you see it in the correspondence. Lobbying registrations are required to protect the public interest and avoid undue influence. Failing to register as a lobbyist is a violation of the Fair Political Practices Act. On December 15th, 2022, the commission approved the original permit here with Ted Harris as the representative for applicant Dan Abrams. On November 27th, 2024, the executive director approved a one-year extension for applicant Dan Abrams and representative Ted Harris. And now on January 26th, the executive director has tentatively approved one-year extension again for applicant Dan Abrams and representative Ted Harris. But the California Secretary of State Political Reform Division's lobbying team confirmed that Ted Harris has never registered as a lobbyist for Wincup Properties LLC, and California Strategies and Advocacy has never been registered as a lobbying firm for Wincup Properties LLC. The Fair Political Practices Commission cannot take enforcement action on prospective violations, but these are already approved violations. So you cannot knowingly take yet another vote on a violation of the FPCC. So I'm asking you to formally contact the FPPC and ask for official guidance on this matter. It's a very important violation of a state law. Thank you.
Thank you. Amanda Seward.
Thank you, Amanda Seward here. Given the statement that this will be heard in the next hearing, there's not much to say except that we will be looking closely to see that Regulation 13-169 is followed. And what it will require is that the executive director report whether or not the allegation of any the extension may affect Chapter 3. It doesn't say that there are changed circumstances, that only that there may be changed circumstances. And if there is that finding, and we don't see how there couldn't be since there was this reliance on the financial report that that gave them special dispensations because of COVID and the need for higher cap fees. So we think that certainly COVID is over. And so I don't see how you could say that there are these changed circumstances of COVID no longer being an issue may affect the consistency of the development. So with Chapter 3 policies of the Coastal Act. So and if he makes that determination, what happens then is they don't have to do another application, but merely answer the issue about whether there are new circumstances or changed circumstances in a public hearing. And that's what we would be requesting. Thank you.
Thank you. Allie Millsbean.
Good morning, commissioners. If my teeth are chattering, I got locked out of my cabin up in the mountains trying to get reception to be able to talk. Didn't realize that this was going to be heard again next month. So the only thing I just wanted to add, and I'll be really brief, not in the legal aspects, but because of what Amanda just said, I agree that this definitely should be reheard. But I want to just remind the commissioners that are going to look at the notes that this hotel is like on one special parcel of it, but all of it is really the corners of the oldest African American community in Los Angeles, certainly in Venice, but in Los Angeles. And they felt that they were shut out of the communication. And one of the parcels in particular is 3 over 100-year-old bungalows that were very sacred to that community. They had first it was dwellings, and then they had stores out of there, but it's very much a part of their community. And in one of the drawings, they were going to save those bungalows and make them part of the hotel, which really mattered. And then because of the COVID finding that they had financial hardship, that went away. And so if that could be relooked at, that would be near and dear to the heart of the community that is, really going to be affected by the size and massive density and traffic of this hotel. It would be a very cool move to put those back. And then the second thing is the affordable units. Again, they did acquiesce to have these affordable units in, and that Oakwood was they really cared about that. And then again, because of financial hardship of COVID, those were just made in lieu and not even in lieu money to go to Venice housing. So that's something I'd really love it if you as commissioners would look at again, now that I feel the circumstances have financially changed. So that's all I wanted to add, and love from the mountains to the coast. And thank you for protecting our coast.
Thank you. Madam Chair.
Great, thank you. Ms. Bean, I hope you go get warm.
I can't, I'm locked out.
All right, thank you very much. So I will return to the commission. Do 3 or more commissioners object to any item in the Deputy Director's report? Okay, seeing no objections, the commission concurs. And now we are on to our final item of the day. It's Baywatch.
Thank you. That does bring us to item 11A. We do have a PowerPoint presentation for this. If we could pull that up, please. Item 11A is a CDP application by Baywatch Incorporated for construction of a temporary film set, use of public parking lots, and filming of the Baywatch television series on and around Venice Beach. Construction of the set will take place on the sandy beach on the seaward side of the LA County Lifeguard Headquarters between approximately February 9th and February 27th. Intermittent filming is proposed to take place over approximately 30 days between early March and mid-July of this year. Next slide, please. The project, filming would potentially occur over an approximately 3/4 mile stretch of Venice Beach, which is shown here on this aerial photograph of the subject site. During beach filming, an approximately 300 square foot area within this larger filming footprint would be cordoned off at a time. The specific 300 square foot filming location would shift throughout the footprint as needed during filming, but would remain within the broader area identified on this slide. The project also involves use of 2 public parking lots, including a small portion of the Venice Beach parking lot immediately landward of the filming set, and also City Lot 731, located approximately 2 blocks inland, which is also shown here on this aerial photograph. Next slide, please. The project includes construction of a temporary freestanding film set consisting of 1,500 square feet of interior area and 3,170 square feet of upper and lower deck area with 2 new exterior stairways, which are shown here on this rendering in yellow on slide 3. The existing lifeguard station is shown in blue. The temporary set will be constructed on the sandy beach. It'll be supported by 23 removable helical piles that can be easily removed at the end of the project. And it would be located within an unenclosed wedge seaward facing opening on the lifeguard tower, as can be seen on this next slide. And if we could pull up the next slide, please. Now, construction will begin in mid-February, and the set will be completely removed from the beach, and the beach restored to its previous condition or better by the end of July. The applicant also proposes minor improvements to the existing lifeguard headquarters, including like-for-like replacement of 2 roll-up garage doors that are not currently operational, like-for-like replacement of the main exterior doors within the area of the open wedge, and patching and painting, as well as fence repair and termite repair. Next slide, please. After construction and only on beach filming days, in order to support filming activities, 27 parking spaces would be used in the Venice Beach parking lot. And the entirety of City Lot 731, which is shown in white on this aerial photograph, and Lot 731 consists of 177 spaces. And those would be utilized for filming activities and support activities to support the filming between 4 a.m. and 8 p.m. In addition, during consecutive days of filming, 44 parking spaces in the inland lot, Lot 731, would be used overnight to stage film trailers and restroom facilities for the next day's use. No parking spaces would be used on weekends and holidays, so the equipment would be moved out of those parking lots on a weekly basis. Now, to minimize impacts to public access, we have several special conditions, including Special Condition 2 that limits use of the Venice Beach parking lot to no more than 27 of its 352 spaces on filming days, which will leave the majority of the beach parking lot open and available to the public at all times. Starting at 8 p.m., the 27 occupied spaces will be returned to the public, although City Lot 731 will be completely closed to the public during filming. Across the street from that parking lot, as shown here on this slide in white, is City Lot 701, which will provide overflow parking for the public. In addition, filming is limited to weekdays, and thus occupation of these spaces by film cast, crew, and associates will be limited to those weekday times only. Special Condition 2 further protects recreational amenities such as public parking used to access the boat launch ramp to the Venice canals and the volleyball nets on the beach. The same condition also requires the applicant to maintain public access to the beach for pedestrians at all times during filming, including at a minimum of 1 lateral and 2 vertical public access ways. So there must be public access both on the seaward and on the landward side and around the film activities at all times. It does allow for limited interruptions in access of no more than 5 minutes to accommodate filming. And next slide, please. There is no sensitive habitat or dune areas within our project area, and thus the project is not expected to result in any impacts to habitat or wildlife. Now, Special Condition 3B requires a 500-foot buffer zone from the Venice Beach lease turn nesting site and dunes that are located off-site and outside of the proposed filming area, and that's to ensure impacts are avoided to those habitat areas. This special condition also requires a lighting plan to ensure that all set and construction lighting avoids night lighting during sensitive periods. And we also have provisions in that same condition to ensure that vehicles remain above the mean high tide line, preventing disturbance to intertidal areas, and that beach rack not be disturbed. Special Condition 4 includes measures protecting coastal resources and water quality, as well as removal of all trash and waste, and to ensure that the use of any single-use plastics are prohibited, including for all catering and support activities. And next slide, please. This item includes 2 addendums that make minor changes to certain special conditions in response both to the applicant's requests and in regard to correspondence that has been received. After publication of the staff report, our staff received 3 letters of support from LA County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath, LA Council Member Tracy Park, and Andrew Solomon of the LA Conservancy. The Commission also received 2 letters from Leslie Purcell, a member of the Sierra Club, and Mitch Silverstein of the Surfrider Foundation, both containing project suggestions. In addition, the Commission received 1 letter from Peggy Lee Kennedy in opposition, outlining concerns over parking and traffic and over public access for the disabled and elderly. In response to these letters, several changes to the special conditions have been made in the 2 addendums, including adding additional safeguards for parking spaces designated for persons with disabilities and electric vehicle charging areas, requirements for clear street signage indicating when public parking is available and where alternative parking can be found, and the requirement for a more robust public access report documenting interactions with the public, including unhoused individuals. Now, additional requirements including documentation of the duration of filming and reporting any bird strikes or collisions during aerial filming using drone camera equipment, as well as submitting a plastics report that identifies anticipated single-use plastic items and their alternatives, to further reduce plastic have been required, and to further reduce plastic waste, signage must be posted at all sites, and cast crew and contractors must be notified of the prohibition on single-use plastics. In response to the request from the applicant, the addendums mainly modify the parking hours for the project activities to last for a little longer, to last from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m., rather than the originally proposed 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And that's to allow for flexibility that they require for their filming activity. It also allows for the limited use of 44 parking spaces for essential equipment overnight in the inland city lot, lot 731, when filming occurs on consecutive days. In closing, your staff believes the project, as conditioned, is consistent with the Chapter 3 policies of the Coastal Act, and thus we're recommending approval of this project with the conditions detailed in the staff report as modified in the addendums. The motion to accomplish this recommendation can be found on page 4 of your staff reports. That concludes my presentation. Staff is available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hudson. Any ex partes? I have one to report. I received a text message from Susan McCabe on behalf of the applicant, just informing me that this was coming before us and that they were working closely with staff to try to align timing to allow filming to start. With that, we will move to public comment, or no, excuse me, to the applicant. Hi, Ms. Blumker. How much time do you need?
We'll ask for 5 minutes. I don't think we'll need all that.
I love it. Perfect.
Okay. Ann Blumker. Good morning, Chair Harmon and Commissioners. Ann Blumker with McCabe and Company on behalf of the applicant. We wanted to express our gratitude to staff, particularly Jennifer Doyle, and Shannon Vaughn and Steve Hudson for working with us on this and you know, so expeditiously. And so thank you, Jennifer. I assume she's online. The applicant is in agreement with the staff recommendation and the 2 addendum that Steve mentioned. We are really excited to get going quickly on this. This is an exciting opportunity to bring back not only a beloved show from the past, but to highlight the beauty of the Los Angeles coastline and all of California, actually. And with that, I'll hand it over to Carrie Andrews with Fremantle, and then we also have Jamal Robinson with Fremantle to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Hi. Woo. I can project now, can't I? I'm Carrie Andrews. Thank you for having me. Really, just thank you. And I just want to give a pause to that statement because, you know, your team has been so incredible in helping us navigate what for us is wholly uncharted waters. Steve Hudson, Shannon Vaughn, and Jennifer Doyle, if I'm being specific, like they have been in this deep end with me the whole time. They worked tirelessly to make sure that we have this project up in front of you today. While I became aware of the need for a coastal permit only early in December, behind the scenes we had been working on bringing Baywatch back to Los Angeles and specifically to Venice for over a year, and I just kind of wanted to take you through that. We went and scouted Australia and scoured the world really for beaches that could pass as our beautiful Southern California shoreline. And while I enjoyed exploring several of them, we looked at from Aruba Beach in Sydney, and we went all the way up to the Gold Coast, and we even visited one that had wild chickens running all over it. And while it was fun, it wasn't LA, and specifically not Venice and not the historic home of Baywatch. When we got the acceptance into the California film tax credit, Los Angeles became a feasible option for us. We got that letter on November 11th, and within a few weeks, we were settled on keeping Baywatch in Los Angeles. At that time, our production designer came on, and that's Dave Blass, and I think some of you have probably seen, these are his plans, and he helped us realize this. And, you know, he came on and helped us make what was just a dream for us, a reality, and of course, obviously with all of your support and help as well. And then 3 weeks after that, and I have so many people in my head, I've met so many people in these last few months, it's Arnolfo and Miguel said, present in person. And we went down to Venice Beach on December 17th, and I think he invited pretty much everybody. I think we had a huge amount of stakeholders there. And literally, we're sitting on Venice Beach with the ocean as our backdrop, presenting the plans that you say in this. And I've made television my entire life, that world I know. This one I'm learning, and I appreciate your patience and excitement and support for our project. Thank you. I'll turn this off.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay. Any other public comments?
Yes, we have a few. First will be Councilwoman Tracy Park, followed by Sean Silva, and then Rachel Fox on behalf of LA County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath. So, Tracy Park.
Good morning, honorable commissioners, and thank you so much. My name is Tracy Park, and I'm the councilwoman for the 11th District in Los Angeles. I have the privilege of representing some of our most iconic coastal communities, the Pacific Palisades and Will Rogers Beach, the world-famous Venice Beach, Marina del Rey, and Playa del Rey and Dockweiler Beach. I'm joining you this morning to express my enthusiastic support for Baywatch. I can't emphasize enough just what an incredible opportunity Baywatch will be for our state, our city, and my home community of Venice. Baywatch is perhaps the most iconic TV show of all time, a brand that made our coastline famous around the world. And I personally can think of nothing more apple pie to LA than Baywatch. Aside from the hundreds of good union jobs, aside from proving that we can still capture that Hollywood magic that has defined our state and our region for a century, aside from showcasing to the world all that we love about the California coast, aside from the fact that Baywatch was created by our very own LA County lifeguards, the men and women who protect our coastline, keeping millions of people safe. Through Baywatch, their stories have inspired curiosity about the ocean and captured imaginations around the world. This production doesn't just respect Coastal Act values, it defines coastal access in a new way. We love the ocean, our beaches, and the marine wildlife that make it so special. We're defined by our year-round sunny days, surf and skate culture, and a Santa Monica Bay increasingly stressed by climate change and, most recently, the devastating Palisades fire. Lifeguarding culture started here, and the world is safe on our beaches because of their work. This is a series about all of that, and it's equally difficult imagining this series going somewhere else. We literally almost lost it to Australia. But with the support of Governor Newsom, local elected representatives, the Film Commission, and many, many, many others, we have resolved to take this show and do what we can to bring the coast around the world. Thank you so much for your support, and I respectfully request that you approve these permits. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you. Sean Silva.
Good morning, honorable commissioners. My name is Sean Silva, and I'm with the office of Councilwoman Tracy Park, whom you just heard. I appreciate the opportunity to reiterate our support for the recommendation from coastal staff and to reiterate our respectful request that the commission approve Baywatch's application. The project has the immense potential to serve as an economic engine, keeping hundreds of great jobs in the film industry and its branching positive impacts here in our local communities. The production team has absolutely distinguished itself by working with every layer of government, every office, every department, and on every level to ensure a high-quality production environment that respects coastal access, the historic significance of the lifeguard tower itself, and the unique aspects of filming in this setting. Our office joins the chorus of other elected officials, advocacy groups like the LA Conservancy, and community groups exhilarated by the opportunity, and we've appreciated working with the team and your staff, Coastal Commission staff, on this. She urges your support, as you heard. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Next will be Rachel Fox, followed by Mitch Silverstein, Robin Rudisil, and Leslie Purcell. Rachel Fox.
Hi, good morning. Thank you, commissioners. I'm joining on behalf of LA County 3rd District Supervisor Lindsay Horvath this morning, speaking in support of this item and Baywatch's application. The supervisor submitted this video. Can we please play that?
Yes, give us a second to bring it up.
Hello, I'm Lindsay Horvath, Supervisor for Los Angeles County's 3rd District, home to more than 2 million residents. Thank you for the opportunity to express my strong support for Baywatch's application for the construction of a temporary freestanding film set, along with minor repairs and painting at the Venice Beach Lifeguard Headquarters. This television series plans to film at and around the Venice Beach Lifeguard Headquarters for approximately 5 months. I want to emphasize that the production company has been very thoughtful and proactive in its approach to maintaining public access, respecting the surrounding neighborhood, and ensuring minimal disruption during filming. Furthermore, from day one, they have been very clear that their activities will not interfere with the county's essential public safety or maintenance responsibilities. As many of you know, Los Angeles has not been immune to productions leaving California to film elsewhere. This iconic series is expected to employ hundreds of local cast and crew members, union jobs, generating significant wages and local spending, and helping to revitalize an industry that has faced recent challenges. Plus, it was born right here in Los Angeles County. Ultimately, this production will help reaffirm Los Angeles's role as a global television and film hub, boost tourism, and bring renewed energy to our coastal communities. I respectfully request your approval of the Coastal Development Permit so this television series can return home to Los Angeles. Thank you again for the opportunity to share my support.
Thank you. Anything else, Rachel?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, Mitch Silverstein.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Mitch Buchanan. Silverstein, Surfrider Foundation. I love that Baywatch is the item of the day. What a trip. I think Surfrider approached this similar to Commission staff. We're not really going to take a position on the show itself, but we do take an interest in eliminating potential impacts to coastal resources and public access during production. Personally, I do think it's cool being from LA that Baywatch, the story that it was going to be in Australia, but now it's back in LA. That's really cool. It's going to be very public. So, and I like the much needed improvements to the lifeguard tower. So there's a good story here. I'd like to thank staff for the amendments they made to minimize impacts through the various special conditions, and I'd really like to thank them for the additional amendments they made in response to letters from the public, including Surfrider's request to strengthen the condition to prohibit single-use plastics across all production sites. I want to give major props to staff for including single-use plastics in the first place. This is consistent with the Commission's plastic pollution guidance that you all approved last year. It's also consistent with Surfrider's plastic initiative to eliminate single-use plastics in the U.S. And we have a lot of work to do. To put in perspective, our nationwide network conducts about 1,000 beach cleanups a year, and 83% of every item we find is single-use plastics. Plastic is a toxic fossil fuel product. It does not biodegrade. The debris it creates blights our communities, harms wildlife, and poisons coastal resources. The updated amendments require Baywatch to submit a plastics report up front that details the measures they'll take. It also requires prominent signage stating single-use plastics are prohibited. I encourage Baywatch to fully embrace these efforts, and furthermore, to really capitalize on an incredible PR effort to kind of model sustainable behavior and production in a really, really public place where everyone's going to be watching. So it's a really huge opportunity for Baywatch and really our coast. Let me see how much time I have here, 10 seconds. Okay, so I'm not gonna go into why it's so important, but I really think single-use plastics are so pervasive and they're like insidious. They get into every situation, so you need a plan. And I'm glad they're gonna have one. They may have already had one, but I sleep better at night knowing it's required. So Surfrider has no objections.
Thank you. Robin Rudisill.
Good morning again. I want to take a moment to commend the staff for this outstanding work, and in particular, the staff report author, Jennifer Doyle and Shannon Vaughn as well. This is one of the most thorough, careful, and responsive reports I've seen. I loved reading it, and what stood out to me most is not just the depth of analysis, but the approach. So responsive and respectful to both the applicant and the public. Rather than just rebutting or dismissing public concerns, the report takes them all very seriously and responds to each issue raised, explains how those concerns were evaluated, and shows how the project or the conditions were modified to address them. It's very clear that staff worked closely with the applicant to resolve operational details, conditions, safeguards that ensure the project will function well and without creating negative impacts. That level of coordination takes real expertise, and it shows throughout the report and the addenda. I also thank the applicant for so positively working out these details with staff. This is Coastal Act implementation at its best, protecting coastal resources, truly respecting community input, and still helping an applicant arrive at a workable, reasonable, and responsible project. The applicant is right. The South Coast staff is incredible. Speaking as someone from Venice and also as a neighbor of the project, I also want to say that we welcome the Baywatch production as conditioned, and again, deeply appreciate the care staff took in working with the applicant on the conditions.
Thank you. Next is Leslie Purcell.
Good morning.
Coastal Commission. And I would also like to thank the staff for all the work they've done in addressing different issues. And I wanted to mention a couple more of the things that I raised, possibly engaging the local tribal people, and it would be great if we could have some storylines somehow that might educate the public a little bit about the indigenous people and that are still here, actually. I'd also like to just highlight pollution and climate issues. I don't know if that could be incorporated. I think that was mentioned. So there are so many opportunities to show our both positive and negative impacts on the coast. Pollution, as mentioned, and climate change, and sea level rise, and marine mammals that occasionally are found on the beaches, as well as birds sometimes that have had some kind of accident, or I don't know, at some point there was the algae blooms that was a problem, but hopefully that won't occur at this time. Anyway, I appreciate everything that the staff has done to make this project even better, and hopefully we can highlight some of the environmental issues that are so important to our world these days. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There are no more speakers, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you so much. So I will return to the applicant to see if they have any rebuttal they wish to make. Great, thank you so much. Okay, I'll close the public hearing and ask Mr. Hudson if he has any final thoughts for us.
All right, thank you. I'll keep it very brief. I'd just like to respond to Ms. Purcell's concern about Native American issues, and just note that the report does include Special Condition 10, which can be found on page 12 and reaches to page 14. That requires Native American monitoring for any ground disturbance activities and coordination with the local Native tribes. So that's our standard language, and so I just wanted to assure the Commission that our staff has coordinated with our Native American partners, and we do have conditions to ensure that no resources will be impacted. With that, I'll close my comments and just note that we are available for questions.
Great, thank you very much. So I'll return to the commission and begin with Commissioner Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you to the speakers today. Thank you for the excellent staff report. I just, with all due respect to our Santa Monica neighbors, just want to make it abundantly clear that I am disappointed you're not filming in Hermosa Beach. I'm sure that was a slight. I think to make up for that, I think commission cameos should certainly happen. Now, for accountability purposes only, of course, and I think our extra beach workout regimens are going to begin today. So I just want to make sure, for the record, I will begrudgingly be supporting this motion.
Amazing. Commissioner Natoff?
As someone whose kids were raised watching Baywatch, and we're always trying to rescue whatever was around at any time, this is kind of exciting to have it come back to LA. And I'm pleased to support this. It's great to see how quickly staff was able to put this together and get things moving. I just have to mention that I wish we had this same sense of urgency for the 100% affordable housing project at Venice Dell that the commission approved unanimously over a year ago. I'd love to see that type of community support to help people with affordable housing as much as for these type of exciting projects. But I'm happy to move the motion if we're ready for it. If there's
another comment, I'll come back to you for the motion, Commissioner. Commissioner Lee.
Thank you. We know that our beaches in LA are iconic, but it's amazing to have a concrete anecdote about a production team literally scouring the earth for anything that could possibly compare. And so clearly we've got a unique backdrop where we are lucky enough to live in the most beautiful beaches in the world. I'm a former California film commissioner, and so to see additional filming happening within the TMZ is incredibly important. Film production is down more than 26% year over year, and that's just has been declining so much. It has impacted every aspect of Los Angeles's economy, and we are essentially losing our home industry to areas across the country and across the world. And so that's very hard to see, but the state film tax credit has been critical in keeping production at home and supporting projects like this. California earns $24 of economic output for every single dollar of the tax credit. It's just like a clear win that we need to continue to expand this program, and 4.0 will hopefully do that. But of course, it's amazing to also be able to support production that is able to respect and protect our coastline and to meet all of these conditions and to incorporate everything that has been collaborated on by staff. So it's really inspiring to see this, and can't wait to watch the show. I actually never watched it the first time around.
Thank you. Commissioner Wilson.
Thanks. I want to thank everyone for doing all the work to get us here. Just a couple things. One is just to bring it back to the purpose of this process was to have this very important and production comply with the Coastal Act in its access provisions and its resource protection provisions. And it's a very dry way of saying, that I think that the response, the communication back and forth, is just going to make a better experience for everybody involved, and especially the visitors that come to the coast, the community that's directly impacted. And I believe that when you have that positive relationship, it's going to reflect in the product as well. So I'm really thankful for everyone doing that. And I don't think I've ever heard a commenter say that I loved reading it in reference to one of our reports. So kudos to the staff on that. That's pretty high marks. And with that, I'll be supporting this going forward.
Okay, to Commissioner Kelly.
Thank you. I just want to echo the comments of some of my fellow commissioners. I'm not interested in a cameo, so I'm not echoing those comments, but did want to just state that I think, there is a willingness here to comply with our requirements, but also to advance what we think is probably going to be one of the most impactful ways for the world to see the California coastline. And the fact that they did look worldwide to try to find something that was even remotely, could mimic what we have and what we work so hard to protect, I think really speaks volumes to the work of this commission and the people of California. So I want to thank everyone involved for bringing this forward and for your willingness to work with the commission, and also that I think that there's really an opportunity to showcase the work we do and the goal of protecting this amazing resource on a worldwide stage, and to expose the next generation of TV audiences to this incredible show that so many of us watched in other parts of our lives. And so I think it's great to have the opportunity to do this, and also to know that yes, there are going to be impacts. Public access is going to be one of the challenges we're trying to balance here, and I appreciate the thoughtful approach to ensure that we're not shutting down an entire public beach, for months on end, and that they really have been thoughtful about how do we maintain access and ensure that the residents of this community can still have access while also trying to complete this production. So thanks for the partnership in continuing to bring this forward, and for the willingness to take some of those steps that we would love to see other production teams do. And also just thinking about the economic impact and those union jobs that we're going to continue to ensure can stay in our state. We know that there are many crews around the world who are not getting the same types of workplace protections that our folks do in this industry, and this industry really put LA and California on the map. And so to continue to be able to propel that economic driver forward is critical, I think, to ensuring that people in our state can stay here and that these jobs can stay here. So thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lee for the motion, please.
I'd like to make the motion. I move that the commission approve coastal development permit number 5-26.0015 pursuant to the staff recommendation.
I'll second.
That's a motion by Commissioner Lee, a second by Commissioner Notoff. They're asking for a yes vote. I don't think we have anyone online at the moment, so are there any objections to unanimous consent? Seeing none, the permit is approved. Congratulations. All right, and I think that brings us to the end of our agenda for this month. Thank you so much to our staff, folks at AGP, the City of Half Moon Bay for hosting us. It's been a great meeting. We love being here and looking forward to seeing you all next month in Ventura. Okay, this meeting is adjourned.